Okay, so picture it. You're there, maybe in a crowd, maybe on your couch, but you can feel that energy building up.
That collective countdown.
Yeah, millions of people, all focused on a clock, getting ready to cheer, to toast, to watch that giant glittery ball drop.
It feels like the ultimate global party, right? A moment that's just timeless,
Yep.
universal.
Exactly. It feels like it belongs to everyone. Like it exists completely outside of, commerce or law. It's just tradition.
And that right there is the big surprise we're going to get into today.
Right.
Behind this huge, seemingly free cultural moment, as we're all getting ready to ring in 2026, there's this remarkably complex and carefully managed web of intellectual property.
Wait, really? So this whole thing isn't free?
It's licensed, it's trademarked, and it's even patented.
That is genuinely fascinating. So you're telling me that the very ideas and objects that define New Year's Eve, from the song we all sing badly to the fireworks themselves, were all tied up in fine print.
That's our mission for this deep dive. We want to give you that shortcut to being well-informed about the hidden legal machinery that makes the whole global celebration happen.
Okay.
We're going to show you the copyright on the sound, the trademarks on the brand, and the patents behind the party itself. So where should we start?
Let's start with the soundtrack. The one sound that makes everyone feel sentimental and, let's be honest, sing a little off-key. Auld Lang Syne.
Right.
It's Scottish, it's ancient, it's about old friends. I mean, surely that has to be in the public domain.
It largely is, and that's the key starting point. The original lyrics from Robert Burns in the 18th century and that core melody, absolutely in the public domain in most places.
Which means anyone can record their own version.
Exactly. That's why you can have, 100 new jazz or pop or electronic arrangements every single year. Artists don't need permission for the underlying song.
So the idea of the song is free.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's a legal tripwire coming. The actual performance, maybe?
That's the crucial catch, the modern recording. Let's say you're a broadcaster throwing a huge televised party and you want to play, I don't know, the Mariah Carey version.
Okay.
You absolutely have to get a license for that specific recording. Her audio capture, her arrangement, that is protected by a fresh copyright, even if the old lyrics and melody aren't.
So event organizers have to pay twice.
Yeah.
Is that it? Like once for the right to play music in public, and then a whole different license if they want to use a specific audio track with their visual countdown.
That's the complexity, yeah. You have to pay the creator of that specific arrangement. And the payments can be huge because it's a global broadcast to cover streaming, radio, everything.
And if you don't secure those rights,
You're risking some serious litigation, which is, a terrible way to start a new year.
this is where it gets really interesting for me, though. It's not just the music. Copyright extends to the entire spectacle.
Oh, absolutely. Think about the iconic images you see on TV. The countdowns from Sydney or London or New York, the camera angles, the graphics on screen, the way the fireworks are choreographed to a specific beat. All of that is a creative work.
So the event producers who design that whole visual show, the cinematographers capturing it, they actually hold the copyright to what we're watching.
Correct. And that's why global networks negotiate these incredibly complex and very expensive licensing agreements. They aren't just paying to be there.
They're paying for the right to broadcast that specific copyrighted visual feed.
Yes. It protects the creator's investment. It ensures their dazzling, very expensive spectacle can't just be lifted and used by anyone else for free.
And that's a perfect transition, actually. We've moved from the sight and sound of the party, which is copyright, to the branding of it all. Let's talk trademarks.
Right, from the creative to the commercial identifier.
How on earth do you trademark a universal holiday?
Wow.
I mean, the phrase Happy New Year must be one of the most generic things on the planet.
And you're completely right about that. You generally can't trademark New Year's Eve or Happy New Year or even NYE.
Because they're just descriptive.
They're generic terms. They just describe the event itself.
So if the generic phrases are off limits, how do companies carve out their own piece of the celebration?
They protect the specific stylization and the context. So a company will register a stylized logo or a unique font, specific colors, a branded event name, something that incorporates the generic phrase but is unique to them.
Like a champagne brand's logo for the holiday, or the official name of a huge party.
Exactly. The trademark is what helps you tell their product apart from everything else in a very crowded marketplace.
And this brings us right to the most famous New Year's celebration in the world, the Times Square ball drop.
It is the ultimate case study for this.
The gold standard of a branded midnight.
It is. The Times Square Alliance, which runs the event, doesn't just put on a show. They govern an entire brand. They hold and actively license a ton of trademarks related to it.
So things like the logos we see everywhere?
The stylized logos, yeah, but also names like Times Square New Year's Eve, and even the specific branded experiences that happen around the ball drop itself.
And what's the commercial impact of that? It's not just about putting a logo on a hat, is it?
No, it's much bigger. It's about maintaining control and quality assurance. And that translates directly into massive revenue streams.
So if someone tries to sell knockoff merchandise,
Or if a local club tries to falsely advertise itself as the official Times Square party, the alliance can use trademark law to shut them down.
right. So that's the key takeaway for you, the listener. The trademark ensures consistency. It means the broadcasts, the official merchandise, the sponsors, they all meet a certain standard and are tied back to the official event.
Without that legal protection, the brand recognition, which generates billions in revenue worldwide, would just dissolve.
It turns a public gathering into a proprietary global media product.
Exactly. The trademark is like an invisible fence protecting the integrity and the commercial value of that single moment.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about the intangible stuff, the creative works and branding, but what about the physical objects? The things that actually make the party happen?
Ah, patents. The inventions.
Yeah, even the fun party tools, the things that make us look up and say, wow, are covered by intellectual property. Let's talk patents.
This is where we get into the pure invention, the nuts and bolts. Patents cover functional solutions to a problem like, how do we launch this confetti higher? Or how do we make this firework display safer?
Can you give me a real example? Because when I think of fireworks, I just think of, fire and powder. It feels like ancient technology.
Well, the basic chemistry is ancient, you're right. That's long since expired. Like, modern firework tech is incredibly complex and it's heavily patented. We're not talking about a basic firecracker.
We're talking about the huge choreographed shows.
We're talking about digitally controlled firing systems. Companies are constantly filing patents for innovations in timing mechanisms, new chemical compounds that change color in a specific way, or propulsion methods that allow for those perfectly synchronized displays.
So the competitive edge isn't just louder, it's about precision and novelty.
Precisely. You see a continuous race to innovate. Even something like the switch to computer-controlled LED countdown timers, like the famous one in Times Square, that required specific patents on the electrical systems and the software. It wasn't just swapping out light bulbs.
What about the smaller stuff, the noisemakers and confetti cannons?
Oh, absolutely. Many confetti launchers rely on patented pneumatic or spring-based systems to get that big burst. Inventors file patents for new noisemaker designs. A huge area of innovation right now is actually in biodegradable confetti.
The eco-friendly angle.
Right. So the company that figures out the safest, greenest, or most spectacular way to shower a crowd in paper gets a temporary monopoly through their patent. It gives them a huge edge in the market.
And while those patents eventually expire.
The race for the next thing never stops, especially as organizers demand safer, greener, and just more impressive experiences to mark that moment at midnight.
Okay, so we've got our three legal pillars. Copyright for the creative side, audio and visual, trademarks for the branding, and patents for the party tools. So how does this all come together in a real-world, massive public celebration?
When you look at a major city's official New Year's event, you realize IP isn't just some afterthought. It's woven into every single logistical step. It's a multi-layered regulatory challenge.
Give us a sense of that. What kind of legal checklist are they running through?
Well, the IP side intertwines directly with everything else. You have the city permits to secure, the huge broadcast rights deals to negotiate, the really complex music licensing for every single song played.
Every DJ, every background track.
Everything. And then you have contracts with hundreds of performers and vendors.
Okay, so let's put ourselves in their shoes. We're organizing a huge NYE event. We've got a fireworks display set to a famous artist's song. It's being broadcast globally, and it has our city's unique branding all over it. Where does IP pop up?
Everywhere. First, your event logo. It has to be properly trademarked so only you can promote with it.
Got it.
Second, the music. You need synchronization and public performance licenses for that specific recording you're using. That's the copyright layer.
Okay.
Third, the fireworks. You have to ensure your contractor is using legally licensed patented firing equipment. That's the patent layer. And then finally, the entire visual feed of your event. That becomes a new copyrighted work that you can then license out to others.
Wow. It really is the invisible framework holding the whole thing together. It's a fascinating paradox. We're all gathering to celebrate something as simple as time passing.
But in doing so, we're participating in a massive, legally managed celebration of human ingenuity and commerce.
So at the end of the day, the IP is what allows for these huge, high-quality events to even exist year after year.
It does. It guarantees that creators and companies can invest millions in making these celebrations safer and more spectacular because they know their creative and commercial rights are going to be respected.
This has been a real deep dive into the hidden machinery of our biggest global holiday. We know now that copyright protects the sounds and sights, trademarks protect the brand and reputation, and patents are driving the innovation in the party itself.
And as you think about this intersection of culture and commerce, here's a final thought to mull over. If the specific visual of that Times Square ball drop is a licensed trademark, a proprietary image, what happens when its owners decide to radically change the design, or even restrict how it's used or shown?
Right. What happens when a timeless, shared cultural moment is also, at the same time, a licensed, branded, and fiercely controlled commercial product? How could that change our collective memory of this tradition, decades from now?
Something to think about as that clock ticks down. Here's to a bright, creative, and inspired new year.
We hope you feel well-informed and ready to ring it in. Happy New Year.